Trigger warning, SA, abortion. My wife thought I used my SA as an excuse to cheat. A user convicted guilty, my wife wants me back. This is such a long story that takes place over a series of months. I'll try to get all the details without going on for too long. So basically, I got SA at a party about 8 months ago. I got drunk, and an acquaintance of mine took advantage of me. I hardly remember it, but I woke up the next morning no cloths with a vivid memory of what had happened. I remember putting up a fight, but not much else. I also have a very vague memory of her holding a phone the entire time, but that's about it. I immediately went home and told my wife. She was extremely sympathetic and let me cry on her shoulder. I was a sobbing mess. At the time, I did not want to press charges because I didn't know how it would go if I, a male, accused a woman of S-ing me. Anyway, I ended up telling my friends because they questioned why I stopped showing up to gatherings. The girl's response was basically that it was consensual and I was lying to keep my wife from getting mad at me. Half of my friends believe her, and the other half are on my side. It was a mess. In the end, I decided to just distance myself from them all. One of my supportive friends contacted me, letting me know that she had gotten pregnant but ended up aborting. This was a whirlwind of emotions for me, but in the end, I decided that it was for the best. My wife took this in a different way. She says that she wasn't aware that my user made me finish, and that I wouldn't have finished if I genuinely wasn't enjoying it. We argued for days, and she kept telling me I was sick for faking a ESA allegation just so I could cheat on her. We've separated but are not yet divorced. I've been staying with my brother. Well, at this point, I decided that I needed to go to the police to clear my name. I hired a lawyer, and when he heard my recount of the events that I remember, he was absolutely convinced that she had recorded the encounter. I don't know why, all I mentioned was that she was holding a phone, but I guess it makes sense. Anyway, her phone and laptop were searched, but there was nothing. It took months, but finally we were able to retrieve the video via the cloud. I guess you can't really ever fully delete something. The video clearly depicted me in a vulnerable state, and incoherently trying to get her off of me. It was sick. Anyway, with this evidence plus witness accounts, the court sentenced her to 2.5 years in prison. When this happened, I guess my wife realized that I had actually gotten SED, and has been pleading to get back into my life. She says she made a mistake and just assumed, and she's so sorry, but I don't know if I can ever forgive her. Should I continue with the divorce or try to work things out with her? Some comments from the OP. In response to someone mentioning that his SED person might have lied about the abortion or the fact that it was his. Also, I forgot to mention that she had proof of the abortion, but had no proof that it was mine. It was brought up in court. She tried to use it against me. I have no idea if it was mine, but the timelines do match up. Regardless, that part of the story is behind me now. In response to a deleted comment where the OP reiterates he did not consent. I didn't consent. I know I didn't consent, and the video shows I didn't consent. I did not want to have sex with her, and I told her that, and even though I was clearly out of it, it's clearly seen that I was saying no. I don't know why you think that men can't get SED, just because we're larger, and I'm not even that big. But that doesn't even have anything to do with the situation. I was so drunk that I could barely stay awake, and she had sex with me. How is that not SA? Imagine if a guy did that to a girl. What would you say? OP mentions how his lawyer fought to get video proof, and how that women tried to spin the narrative. Thanks. I wouldn't have won if my lawyer hadn't fought for the existence of a video. She actually tried flipping it on me and said that I SED her. She used the abortion as proof and said she didn't want a baby with her as a person. It sucked. If she wasn't stupid enough to record it, I would probably be in prison right now. Notable comments from fellow Redditors. To elaborate on what people are mentioning in this post about SA and victim reactions, in case it's still not clear to you, OP, or you simply don't know, it's called arousal nonconcordance. About your case, personally, I think it is very alarming that your wife went so far as to say that you must have enjoyed it if you orgasmed. Point of interest, would she say the same about herself if she were in your situation and she had an orgasm? It might be a good idea to show her that video as well, so that she can correct her ignorance about it. To me, people would normally have more pause before saying stuff that they actually don't know to be facts or not when it is in regards to such sensitive topics. The potential impact in terms of damage and hurt wrongful information can have in such cases is immense, as you've experienced. That she did is alarming and needs to change if you're to be able to work it out together, should you choose that option. I think some things to consider for you are, is it something you think she can change about herself? Can you get over the fact that she did it? You'd need counseling or therapy in any case. If you choose not to continue your relationship, know that it's okay as well. I wish you the best either way. Honestly, I wouldn't let her back in. She clearly doesn't understand that, regardless of whether consent is involved, Sexual stimulation will likely lead to ejaculation if kept up long enough. Your body doesn't always know the difference between consensual and non-consensual sex. You went through an extremely traumatizing time, and while at first she was understanding, she then accused you of faking a AITA allegation simply because she doesn't understand some basics of the male side of sex. She should have stood by your side in that instance, encouraged you to report the acquaintance, and waited to see what would come from it. Instead, she decided that she knew better about male genitals and consensual versus non-consensual sex, and accused you of lying about getting head. It's not okay. She made her bed, now she has to lie in it. Update. Hey guys, I'm going to keep this brief. We just finished our first couples counseling session, and it's only further solidified my intention to go through with divorce. During this session, my wife admitted that if there wasn't substantial evidence, she'd probably continue believing that I was a liar and a cheater. It made me realize that she only felt guilty for how she made me feel after she was proven wrong. If it weren't for my incredible lawyer, she'd still think I was lying. So, we're getting a divorce. My wife has agreed to keep it as clean as possible. We don't have any kids, and we're renting a house together, so it shouldn't be too messy. I think I got the closure I wanted from couples counseling, and I don't think we need a second session. Thank you, Reddit, for your kind words. TLDR, we're done. Notable comments from fellow Redditors. 1. I'm happy that you have found closure. 2. Her getting pregnant has nothing to do with you orgasming. Pre-com contains sperm. You could have impregnated her even if you didn't orgasm. Finally, pre-com and orgasm are both biological responses to stimulation. You don't have to be a consenting participant to produce a baby, and often users will make a victim orgasm to prove you consented, etc. Basically making you complicit in your own essay. Holy SHT, I just read the original after reading this. What a whirlwind of a story. I couldn't imagine having to deal with something like that, and I'm so sorry you had to go through that experience. I've had a friend or two have similar experiences, but the difference was they weren't married, so they kind of let it go as a blackout mistake without realizing how effed up it actually was. I wish you the best going forward and good luck. I wouldn't be able to look past that kind of mistrust and victim blaming, ever. And that's without going through what you did. It was convenient for her to believe you were at fault, so she turned against you at a time when you could have really used a partner. I really hope she learns from this, but she probably won't. Anyway, I'm really proud of you for how you handled this, and I hope things go better for you going forward. Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoy listening to these kinds of stories, we've got more in store for you. Simply subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, and share it with your friends.